All right, man. Let's talk about why this woman says she is dating feminine men over masculine men. I know people keep asking why I got the shades on. I got to keep repeating it. I messed up, so was waiting for the swelling to go down. I had a sty, so I kept the shades on. But mine, let's go, man. I don't try to waste y'all time on the grind. Let's get straight to it. So I haven't watched this whole thing. Let's go.
Usually like dating masculine guys.
Yeah,
So
yeah, terrible. Being with Tiante, I've learned that it's best to be with a feminine man because they understand you more. It's hard trying to teach a masculine man how to feel sometimes or how to treat you. I don't have to worry about that. I mean, we just kind of dress alike sometimes, and that's really the only thing. He's he's who he is.
All right. Shout out to Ugly Money Niche. Honestly, she's living her truth and always can respect somebody who, excuse my broke headphones, who telling the truth. And that's what works for them. But I've been telling y'all a lot of them prefer those type of men. And that's why a lot of times, I should let him spit. I'm gonna let him spit. So he chose not to say nothing. Um, but a lot of them that's why they have an attraction to jailbirds and Pookies and Ray Rays, because a lot of them jailbirds, like Judge Joe Brown did that video many years ago, talking about jailbirds being undercover brothers. And that's probably why I like the jailbird so much. A lot of the femininity that's in there, and a lot of women always want to claim they didn't know. If you is doing anything with a guy's back door, women are some of the world's greatest investigators. So I feel like they already be knowing. And in my humble opinion, um, this is what they want. It's not like they throw these words out. Like if I like something, I'm not going to knowingly want to knock a knock a woman off her square. Like if I chose for a particular woman, I don't want to knock another woman down. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I chose this woman because, or I chose this car, to use another analogy, because of the qualities of this car. Not because of deficiencies, because they both have deficiencies, but they do that. Oh, they lack emotional attachment. They don't know how to feel. Look here, that means that when they say lack emotional intelligence, you know, it's just another term they use to try to manipulate men. That's all it is. That's it. That's all it is. It's just another term for them to manipulate men. Where if you don't match where they are emotionally, if you ain't screaming and yelling with them, and you're not emotionally intelligent, if you just chilling and you nonchalant and you cool as a cucumber, and she all upset and you ain't gonna deal with it, then they say lacks emotional intelligence. But that is exactly emotional intelligence. We can't have two people who are hot headed and that's yelling at each other. That's a recipe for a disaster. That's a recipe for an end. Somebody has to be the cooler head. Somebody has to calm somebody else down. Somebody has to know how to get through to you, so we can think logically and clearly. We can come with a solution. Rarely does a good solution come from two people being enraged in an argument. Nothing good come from it. So when they say emotional intelligence, they just want somebody they can emotionally manipulate. If you don't match they effort in yelling and screaming, and you don't match their emotional anarchy, then you're not emotional intelligent. You don't care enough. Their trauma, they're so traumatized. They really think a lot of toxic, I can't even say toxic trait. They really think straight up bad traits. They really think bad traits are the way to go. And they're not the way to go. They're not the way to go. That's why a lot of guys don't put up with a lot of particular women, especially from the community, is because they think yelling and screaming is the way to go. They think that's the way to go. If I don't yell or scream, if I don't physically get abusive with you or mostly abusive, they don't think you love them. Now, to obviously the main entree of it is she's with a femme guy. Guess what? She got a bestie that she can sleep on. That's it. That's all they want. They want a female best friend that they can sleep with and do all the fun things they want to do with. She doesn't want the masculinity of a man. She don't want to be with a man because She probably gonna say, I don't want to be controlled. They don't want to get under a man's program. They want to be able to be with men they can manipulate and do what they want to do. So I can go still sleep with other dudes. I can sleep with you. We can go have fun together. Being in a relationship is not about having fun all the time. It's really building a union and building wealth. You know what I'm saying? And the man provides structure. Your thing is to, sometimes, help build the structure, help keep the order of the structure. But then, you got to remind them, hey, when we need to go on a vacation, or you stressed, so we need to do this, we need to have some fun. That's really the woman job. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, her being with him and them being with younger guys, the Pookies and Ray Ray, it's just a way of manipulation. They want to control the situation. And then once they control and they're the leaders of the situation and they go wrong, then they want to go back to a man and get a bailout. Now they want a stepfather to step in and bail him out, or men to bail him out, give him a soft girl life. No. But her being with him, you know what I'm saying? This is nothing new. It's a lot of the girls is walking around here with gay male best friends and gay or female best friends, and they all sleeping together. That's a fact. That's a known fact. So her telling her truth, a lot of them is already doing this. They get drunk and you ain't had a man in a while. You think they turning that down. They bumping, Virginias together. That's why I say a lot of y'all be thinking that y'all inadequate, especially be in the bedroom. But dog, if you knew what take this particular woman to get to the point of sexual satisfaction, if you knew her history, she would be history. When you gotta do all this stimulus stuff, you gotta pull out toys for her to get stimulated, and you know what I'm saying? You gotta do all this stuff. She'd have been in orgies, gangbangs. She didn't slept with a man and a woman at the same time. She didn't slept with women and women. It ain't nothing that you can do. That's why when you hear them say, well, I'm not looking for sex. I want a husband that don't want sex. No, that's why I like sugar daddies. Cause they just give some emotional support, some touch, some feeling. And they ain't got to get no sugar. But then when they start coming out with Viagra and stuff, then they got to give them sugar. That's all it is. That's all it is. So it's her being with old buddy. It's just her controlling and manipulating the situation. And her accepting for what it really is. She don't want to follow a masculine man's program. He just can't be manipulated. You can't control him. And you don't want to be under his leadership, even though his leadership is best for you and it's going to put you in the position to be most successful. They just choose not to go down that route. So, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these women, they got these relationships behind the closed doors. And that's why, that's why things are the way it is. Women are so stubborn and so prideful that they won't just be like, you know what, black men, we apologize. We want to do better. We ready to fall in line, but they don't want to do that. And I did a video on the Patreon talking about how, they'll rather go, when this Section 8 really hurt them and stuff, and this independence hurt them, they'll rather turn to prostitution before they turn to black men. I'm telling you, if you see them turn to black men for help and all that stuff, if you see that, then for the most part, what you're gonna understand is that that's their last shot. So appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Excuse the shades, like I said. I still messed up, but I'm still producing. Hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.